Nobody wins when the family feels.
Black man murdered and dismembered a young white girl. How many of y'all think y'all would know about it? Because the internet would plaster it everywhere. Now let me ask you this. How many of y'all knew about the 33-year-old white man who murdered and dismembered a 19-year-old black girl like last week or 2 weeks ago? I didn't even find out through social media. I was literally on the news website, and that's the only way that I seen it. Last week or like 2 weeks ago, a 33-year-old white man pretended to be in his 20s to go on a date with a 19-year-old black girl.
It's the new video. Prosecutors say that's Sade Robinson's car. The home security video shows the car heading south down the alley that leads away from Maxwell Anderson's garage. The video is timestamped at 12:47 a.m. in the early morning hours of April 2nd, roughly 3 hours after Anderson and Robinson arrived at his home.
Hurt my baby. This sick son of a is gonna pay. This is justice for Sade. Who the would do something like this to my beautiful baby? She hurt nobody. She harmed nobody. I hate this. And so when he's in inside, I want you to rape and torture that like till I get to and hunt him eternally. Torture that and rape him in the population till I can get to him and hunt the shit out of him. Justice for Sade. Justice will be served for my baby. Justice.
I got one thing to say, and this is gonna be it. Sade was more than a person. She was an angel. Not having her right now is very painful. We need justice for Sade. Me and my family will never be okay. My sister and parents won't stop shaking, and it ain't because they're nervous. Imagine trying to bury your niece with no body for the service. I need justice for Sade. I have nothing more to say.
When we say Serial UK for this video, we mean Serial. But for the sake of YouTube, we want to make sure this video stay up and reach the masses. Now, what is a Serial UK? What are their traits? What does a Serial UK look like? What are some examples? Fam, after dropping my last video, I had a request that came from Wisconsin, and it managed to get a lot of attention. So I wanted to look into it. And of course, we're doing videos. Even if I saw something at times, I might miss it because there's so much going on. But I decided to go back to this after reading into it. And of course, like I always do, I try to ask myself the questions that you guys will ask when these situations come to the public, and try to do my best to gather public information to give you guys those answers. One of the comments has stated this, that managed to get over 345 likes. Do a story on a 19-year-old black female who was emmed and dismembered by a 33-year-old white guy in Milwaukee. He scattered her remains in the ghetto, hoping that the police would think it was another ghetto tragedy. Authorities believe he had done this before, because all the blood found in his house, none matched the victim. And I got some answers for that, which we'll later get to in the video. But let's continue. Please do a story on him to alert the public to the possible Serial UK in Milwaukee. Those are serious allegations. And when you manage to get over 300 likes, there's some truths to it. So I wanted to look into it as mentioned. Another comment has stated, Milwaukee, Wisconsin is my hometown, born and raised. And he has done this to another woman. So they're trying to figure out if he's another Jeffrey Dahmer. And for those who don't know Jeffrey Dahmer, maybe you remember him last year, him going #1, having a Netflix series on his life. A man who managed to have a number of bodies, even going as far as having some stored in his refrigerator. But as mentioned, family, we're going to Wisconsin, where a young woman went missing after going on an alleged date with a man she haven't met prior to that encounter. And as mentioned in the comment, which we'll later discuss, it was also mentioned that a disassembled body part of the victim was found washed to shore. But fam, understand me when I say this. It's a repeating pattern going on after doing my research, and that's just firsthand. Before we really break it down, keep these key points in mind. It's other teenagers, and we know one with full detail, who went missing in the same area to this day, worked at the same workplace, went to the same high school, similar in build and close to age, which we'll later discuss, with hopes of shining light on these unfortunate situations that seem too close to not be connected, and making sure the family, and when I say family, I mean us, are aware of our surroundings, especially our family members in Wisconsin. So expect us to go over some important facts about Serial UKs, the missing women, the missing teenagers, and of course, go into details of the case we have today. So before we go over this one, remember, I don't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. First thing first, fam, I think we should ask ourselves, what are some traits of a serial killer? According to Google, sensation seeking, a lack of remorse or guilt, impulsivity, the need for control, and predatory behavior. Now we got those traits in mind. I want you guys to see at the conclusion of this video, did 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson, the suspect of this video, fit the description? A man who was recently arrested at the beginning of April for the demise of 19-year-old Sade Robinson. May she rest in peace and love and condolences to her family. Maxwell was seen on camera footage released to social media getting arrested outside his home. As mentioned, he was last to see the 19-year-old Sade Robinson, who worked at a pizza place called Pizza Shuttle. And keep this in mind as we talk about other victims, family. This is a video of Sade inside Pizza Shuttle, located on 1827 North Farewell Avenue in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Another key detail I want you guys to keep in mind that match another victim was that Sade Robinson went to a high school called Riverside University High School, located at 1615 East Locust Street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So far we got two key facts as mentioned I want you guys to keep in mind. Where Sade worked, Pizza Shuttle, and where she went to high school, Riverside University High School. When 19-year-old Sade Robinson didn't show up for her shift at Wisconsin Pizza Restaurant on April 2nd, 2024, her co-workers immediately suspected something was wrong. The evening before, Robinson had planned the first date with Maxwell Anderson, April 1st, 2024, at a local seafood restaurant, according to the criminal complaint against Anderson. He is now facing charges of M1 and arson in connection with Robinson's demise. The young college student had been looking forward to this date, even telling a worker in her building how excited she was. The complaint said she texted Anderson she was feeling seafood and headed out to meet him at the seafood restaurant where he used to work, wearing ripped jeans and a white shirt, according to the complaint. The manager at Pizza Shuttle said Sade was very vibrant and very outgoing. She would talk to everyone here. She was always there to lighten the mood. Not showing up for work that day wasn't like her at all. We all kind of knew something was up. We had been calling her all day. One of Robinson's friends called the police that night, saying she had not returned her calls or shown up for work. The criminal complaint said police visited Robinson's apartment for a welfare check, but did not find her there. The restaurant ended up closing for 3 days during the search for Robinson. The authorities discovered a grisly set of clues. The morning after her date with Anderson, Robinson's vehicle was discovered on fire. The 2020 Civic had sustained extreme fire damage, completely damaging the interior. According to the criminal complaint, despite the fire damage, authorities were able to identify the outfit Robinson had been wearing the night of the date, as well as part of an iPhone consistent with her phone in the burned car. Later that day, police were called to the scene of another grisly discovery, a human leg on the beach in Warnermount Park in the Milwaukee suburb. An examination determined that the leg belonged to a black woman, approximately 5 feet tall. It was identified as Robinson using preliminary DNA evidence, according to the complaint. And during this time, some false text messages were sent to her phone, allegedly from Maxwell, on the 4 days after she was last heard from. How's your week going? I was going to stop in, but I don't really want to bounce. I don't blame you. Laugh out loud. My week is okay. It's been long as hell, honestly. What about you? Same kinda. I had to work morning day shifts for the Brewers game. Me too. 10 to 2. Wasn't it worth it all? Which job? Blanked it out. Oh yeah, I'm surprised they're even open that early. On Fridays, we open at 11, but they open for the game day that early, which is dumbest. We don't get a customer until 1 p.m. Here's some photos of Maxwell Anderson's backyard. But here's the thing. At this point, it's a week later, April 6, 2024. And at this point, Maxwell wasn't even arrested, and his house wasn't even searched. Police canvassed the area where Robinson's car had been found. They identified more remains, including a human foot and what appeared to be human flesh. All appeared to come from the same person, according to the complaint. Phone records found by a friend of Robinson and her mother using the location, sharing app detailed in the complaint. They showed Robinson's phone traveling the night of April 1st from the seafood restaurant to a nearby sports bar, then to Anderson's home, and then to the park where her remains were discovered. Let's see if he had any remorse for his actions or show any sympathy on his facial expressions as Maxwell make his first court appearance on April 12, 2024 in a criminal justice facility in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Check it out.
State of Wisconsin versus Maxwell Anderson. 24 CF 1692, count 1, first degree intentional homicide, count 2, mutilating a corpse, count 3, arson of property other than building. This case is assigned to Judge Kai's, branch 45, appearances.
Ian Vance Curzan for the state.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Anthony Cotton with Maxwell Anderson. He's here in person.
Good afternoon.
Commissioner, to start, I filed an amended criminal complaint. The purpose of that amended criminal complaint was to essentially include a footnote regarding the blood recovered in the residence. The footnote is on page 6, and it just indicates that the preliminary DNA analysis supports the conclusion that there is no support for inclusion of Robinson's DNA in the blood or swabs that have been tested, and in some of those, her DNA has been excluded. But I just wanted to clarify that because it was brought up at the initial appearance, so that's why I included that. Otherwise, I think there was just a couple Scrivener's errors that were corrected, and the rest of the information remains unchanged, and there's no additional charges.
Right. I did have noticed that an amended complaint was filed. Any objections to probable cause?
Not at this time.
All right, I have read the criminal complaint. It does state probable cause. Waive reading?
We do.
All right. I'm showing you a document that's called preliminary hearing, questionnaire, and waiver. Is that your signature near the bottom of this page?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read this document, or did your attorney read it to you, or both?
Both, Your Honor.
And did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that if you had a hearing, the state would have to produce witnesses and perhaps other evidence to show that you probably committed a felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you also understand that by waiving that hearing, you are conceding that the state can establish probable cause and you will be ordered to stand trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anyone make any threats to get you to give up your hearing?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone make any promises to get you to give up your hearing?
No, Your Honor.
I will find that Mr. Anderson has made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of his right to have a hearing and order him bound over for trial. I'm also in receipt of a request for substitution of judge against the Honorable Gene Kais. That is approved.
I filed a signed and dated information today. I sent a copy of that document to defense counsel prior to the hearing.
Acknowledge receipt, enter a not guilty plea subject to our substitution request. Thank you.
This case will be reassigned to Judge Sanders, branch 28. And I can do this with May 13th.
I'm there Thursday afternoon, the 16th.
Okay, let's take that.
Next court date will be May 16th at 1:30 for a scheduling conference in branch 28.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor.
You too.
See ya.
Now, during this preliminary hearing, it was noted that it was surveillance footage from cameras of neighbors that showed Sade's car leaving Maxwell house. Check it out.
The new video. Prosecutors say that's Sade Robinson's car. The home security video shows the car heading south down the alley that leads away from Maxwell Anderson's garage. The video is timestamped at 12:47 a.m. in the early morning hours of April 2nd, roughly 3 hours after Anderson and Robinson arrived at his home. In the video, the car turns west. From there, investigators say Anderson went to Warnemont Park and locations in Milwaukee to dispose of her body parts. According to this video, they believe Anderson killed Robinson sometime between arriving at his house and leaving Warnemont Park. More body parts were found early Thursday morning when someone walking along a beach in South Milwaukee discovered Robinson's torso and arm had washed ashore.
And as we know by now, we're a week into this thing. He's apprehended, but also authorities found blood in Anderson's house that didn't match Sade. And neighbors say his dad had made his rounds inside their home a number of times. Along with blood in Anderson's home, they found several gasoline containers. Now fam, before we get to the next part of this story, let's dissect all this right now. This man's father, according to witnesses and neighbors, was going in and out their house. It's clear evidence of blood stains all throughout their house and containers filled with blood. So his father was aware, to say the least. But this is not Sade's blood. It's no such thing as is it more victims. It is more victims. It's who. But then I did my own research, fam, to try to bring to you guys. And that's when we hopped to phase 2 of this video. Now let's run some numbers real quick. In 2022, almost 550,000 missing people were reported to the National Crime Information Center. The vast majority of these people, nearly 99%, were removed from the NCIC's list because they were found, returned home, or because the record was invalid. Since January of 2020, 4,814 women ages 18 to 99 have been reported missing to law enforcement and entered into the nationwide database, according to Wisconsin Department of Justice. Now fam, there's been a long discussion of the disparities surrounding missing people of color. In 2022, black women and girls made up approximately 18% of missing people cases, despite accounting for about 7% of the population. Indigenous women face higher rates of abduction and murder and than the national average. Many people feel that cases of missing indigenous women are overlooked and others go unreported in the data. Now, social media can help finding missing people. USA Today said that in 375 videos featured on Facebook by National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, the average views on posts about missing white girls is more than 63,000. For black girls, it was 38,300. In 2002, cases of Alex Patterson, a 7-year-old from Milwaukee, and Elizabeth Smart, a 14-year-old from Utah, who went missing a month apart, hours after Smart, who's white, went missing. Her case received widespread national attention. Patterson is black, and her case received very little national attention, especially at first. But this is what you guys looking for. The women and girls have been reported missing in Milwaukee since 2020. I did my research and got that answer for you guys, fam. The Wisconsin Department of Justice maintains a list of missing child and adult residents. As of April 18, 2024, 170 people are on the list, including some who have been missing as early as 8 decades. These women and girls were reported missing from Milwaukee County after 2020 and have not been found. It shall be noted, this list may be incomplete, fam. These are only people that have been reported missing to the database, but other missing people may have not been reported. Now, one that stands out that has similarities to Sade, a young girl that went by the name of Jonah Walker, just 15 years old when she was first reported missing. Walker was last seen around 2:30 p.m. on June 23, 2020, near the intersection of North Buffum Street in Milwaukee, carrying a large book bag and wearing a green t-shirt and blue jeans. She has black hair with long braids and brown eyes at this time. It was captured on surveillance, as you can see on the screen. The day she went missing, Walker was supposed to be picked up from her house at about 4 p.m. by her father. Her mother was at work, and the two exchanged text messages in the afternoon. Phone records show Walker tried to call her therapist at around 3:27 p.m. and later that night sent her therapist a text indicating she had run away from home. Walker's mother said her daughter has a history of mental illness and likes reading and baking and animals. Walker's mother grew frustration with the Milwaukee police when they did not classify her daughter as critical missing, but the criteria for critical missing, including a person with history of physical, mental, or disability, drug dependency, other at-risk issues, among other factors. And Ms. Walker spoke up about this, and to this day, her daughter is yet to be seen. Check it out.
I was going to the voicemail. I knew in my heart of hearts something was wrong. I was in shock because it was no sign of her anywhere. I do believe she went and met with a person or persons. I'm not sure, but definitely someone online. It's been almost a year. So I really feel like it's something against her will.
We really need your help to find a missing Milwaukee teenager. 15-year-old Janiyah Walker disappeared from her home in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, what happened next is a mystery.
Janiyah, if you're watching, I'm smiling through my tears and my pain, but I miss you, and we all miss you, and we want you to come home. We need you. I mean, it is not the same without you, girl.
Now, Walker was a freshman. Guess where? Riverside University High School, fam. The same school Sade had just graduated from. And guess where Walker worked at? The same pizza shuttle. Walker was around 5'2". Sade was around 5 feet, 5'2". Walker was 5'4". Sade was around 130, 135. Walker was 130. Till this day, as mentioned, Walker has yet to be seen. This gotta be a connection. And this is just what we could find according to public records. How many more? It's a very, very unfortunate situation. And that's mentioned at the very beginning, fam. It was blood on his sheets that didn't match Sade. So it's not a matter of If it's more victims, it's who. I'm praying for everyone involved in this situation. As more develop, we're gonna keep up on it. I appreciate the family members who reached out that made sure we cover this and put some insight on it. Fam, y'all let me know how you guys feel about this one. This was the story of a young woman who disappeared after going on a first date with a man who was 33 years old, and as we didn't mention in the video, lied about his age to go with a teenager, dismembered her body, dumped it in various locations, and have no remorse. Talk to me in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.